Let us join in prayers. Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Gurave Namaha. Acharya Mam Vijaniya Navamanyet Karnichit Namatya Buddhya Suyet Sarvadev Rumayo Guru. I bow down to my Guru Dev again and again. Bhagwan Sri Krishna said, know the Guru to be myself. Do not use your material minds to comprehend the divine actions, for all forms of God dwell within the Guru. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhagave. May all be happy. May all be free from sickness and illnesses. May we only see that which is spiritually uplifting, and may misery and sorrow not be anyone's lot. Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupini avatara varishaya Shri Ramakrishna Salutations to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the Yuga Avatar, the Avatar of the Sage, the one who has come to teach mankind the unity, the harmony that underlies all religions and all faiths. Unto thee, O Lord, we offer our humble salutations. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Sitaram, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum. Good evening. Once again, we welcome all of you to this, the fourth night of our celebration of the life of my brother Surendra Kumar Jagdeo, more popularly known as John. And we would like to thank you for the time that you've spent with us over the 1.5 months or so that he was hospitalized, and for the fervent prayers that you offered up on his behalf. We thank you for the many phone calls and for all the love and the support that you have given us. It is, it may seem like a little thing at the time, but little things sometimes have the biggest place in the hearts, especially of his beloved Dharampatni Kumari, his sons Ryan and Kenny, to all my siblings, to all our cousins, to the entire family to know that you are with us in our times of need. You stand there like a wall, supporting us and upholding us. And it has been one of the reasons why we are still standing, so to speak, and we're still able to, to bear this great loss. My brother, like I said, night after night, was a wonderful person. He lived a wonderful, a picturesque, and a colorful life. He was a unique person in many, many ways. Tonight, I want to give a shout out to all our family members from all over the globe, from both sides of the family, from John's side, from also our side, the Jagdeo side, and from the Nitram side. My brother Hemant in Guyana, John's mother-in-law and his other in-laws in Guyana, our family in Florida who supported us, and friends who supported us all the time, our family in Canada, in Minnesota, in the Netherlands, and New Jersey, wherever you are, you always called, you always supported us, and you were there all the time for us. I hope those who have expressed the desire to say something that they're prepared, and so when we call upon you, there would be a minimum of time wasting. So this evening, without much ado, I would like to open the program by doing a favorite of my brother John. He was a fan of Anup Jalota, and this was one of his favorite bhajans. No one could have done it better than him. I'm just gonna try it in my own way. सीता के राम, राधा के श्याम, मीरा के गिरधर नागर सूर के घनश्याम। सीता के राम, राधा के श्याम, मीरा के गिरधर नागर सूर के घनश्याम। सीता के राम, राधा के श्याम। महलों का सुख चोर किया ने राम का साथ निभाया। लक्ष्मी ने धर रूप किया का जग का पाप मिटाया। बना दिया का इस धरती को राम भक्त का धाम। सीता के धाम, राधा के श्याम, मीरा के गिरधर नारद सूर के घनश्याम। सीता के धाम, राधा के श्याम। राधा ने श्री श्याम सुदर्शन ऐसा रास रचाया। तीन लोक में श्याम और राधा का रूप समाया। कोटि कोटि भक्तों के मुख पर लागे श्याम का नाम। सीता के धाम, राधा के श्याम, मीरा के गिरधर नागर सूर के घनश्याम। सीता के धाम, राधा के श्याम। मीरा ने महलों की झूठी महिमा को ठुकराया। चोर जगत के भंजन अपने गिरधर को अपनाया। प्रेम दीवाने मीरा को करते हैं भक्त प्रणाम। सीता के धाम, राधा के श्याम, मीरा के गिरधर नागर सीता राधा और मीरा के सबसे न्यारे स्वामी, सबके न्यारे सबके प्यारे स्वामी अंतर्यामी। सदा बनाया करते प्रभु जी सबके बिगड़े काम। सीता के धाम, राधा के श्याम, मीरा के गिरधर नाथ, सूर के घनश्याम। सीता के राम, सीता के राम, राधा के श्याम। Brother, if you're listening to me, I apologize that I couldn't do justice to the song as you would have done. God bless you wherever you are. I'd like to hand you over now to my son, Yogesh, who will take charge of the program from here on.
Thank you very much, Nadia Pataji, for those beautiful prayers and that very melodic song, that very melodic bhajan by Anu Jalota, which my dear Chacha John used to do so beautifully. As he was singing that bhajan, I can picture, my Chacha had a very unique way of sitting down when he would sing. He would hold his book up and have his mic ready, and he would get into position before he starts the bhajan, and then he would just deliver it um, par excellence. And so that bhajan brought back many memories of when we all used to attend number 73 Mandir and all the fun memories we had then. Nevertheless, my humble pranam to all the pundits that are with us here this evening, and my Sitaram Namaste, good evening, Assalamu alaikum to everyone that is joining us from near and far. We would like to tell you that the entire family appreciates your support during this most tragic time. This evening, we're going to have contributions by all of the siblings of my dear late Chacha. Also, some other family members, like some cousins and so on, will be making contributions as well. So, to start things off this evening, I would like to invite my younger brother, who is sitting to my right, Yadavendra Jagdeo. Most of you know him as Yadav or Yadu. I would like to ask him to probably say a few words about the memories that he shared with our dear late Chacha John and sing a bhajan in his memory. Over to you, Yadu.
Sitaram, everyone. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to extend my heartfelt condolences to my auntie Kumari, my brother Kenny, and my brother Ryan, and to all my aunties and uncles. And my chacha and I shared um, beautiful memories together, especially on the cricket field. He was always encouraging to me, and everywhere we will go, he will always laugh, make jokes, especially when the program finished. He will look at me and he will say, "Let's go eat." Um, and he will always come um, for me to go eat with him. We always make jokes. We always share cricket stories whenever we meet up. Um, and he always tells me how how proud he are of me and how handsome I am. And we will make jokes and we will laugh. Um, It's very sad to know that he's no longer going to be around. And whenever we have a family function, he's not going to be there. But nevertheless, he's in a better place. I would like to sing a little song. Ask my brother to accompany me on it. And again, on behalf of my family and everyone, I want to give my condolences again to my brother Kenny, Ryan, and Auntie Kumar. जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
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 जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन नंदन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन नंदन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन नंदन
ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वर छारी
यमुना तीर बनचारी जय राधा माधव
जय
कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा
Beautifully done indeed by my younger brother Yadu. It's a rare treat. It has to be a special occasion for us to hear him sing these days. But I feel like we need to hear him sing more often, and hopefully Chachijan will inspire you to take up singing more. As I know he's so proud of us all, and we will definitely miss him so much. To start things off this evening, I would like to call upon uh, my cousin Priya. She is the daughter of my Puatara, and she's the eldest grandchild of the Jagdeo family. And I know she had some very beautiful memories that she shared with our dear late Chacha, in her case, Mamu. And I would like to ask Priya to make her contribution now. Over to you.
Sitaram, everyone. I am. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me hear you. Ask them again. Sitaram, everyone. My name is Priya, and I'm the eldest daughter of the eldest sibling of the Jagdeo family. And being the eldest, and I think I'm older by my brother there, Yogesh, by 8 years. So imagine how many years I've grown up in the family before I had any other one that came after me. Being the eldest also meant that I had so many of my mamus and my mausies sometimes over at my house, staying there, living with us, and the memories were many and so very dear to me. I have 6 mamus, for those of you who don't know. So being the eldest and also a girl, 6 mamus living in the village of 73 was quite challenging because my mamus are in cricket, they're in the mandir, they are in, they're teachers, they're speakers, they host funerals and weddings and everything like that. And that also made it quite challenging. We didn't have a lot of suitors. They were very afraid of my mamus. Sharing early memories with Mamu John is that, when we go, anytime we go to Golden Fleece, like Yogesh shared earlier in the week, he just loved children. From the minute he'd see us, he'd hold us by the cheeks and he squeezed so hard, sometimes we want to cry, but he squeezes and he hugs and he kisses. And he was always so very loving. I remember when I had my son, he was about a year old when Mamu Rajan died, and my nanny went to Guyana for that funeral. Me being the eldest grandchild, and I'm now giving birth to her first great grand. It's the first one she would see, and also my Aja. She wanted me to go to quarantine to bring the baby to see. She wants to show off her great grand. So we went, my husband and I and the baby, we went. We were there in the house, and Mamu Jan came. He came on a cutter can. He loves to ride bicycles. That's his pastime, and he is a fast bicycle rider. He came, saw the baby and everything else like that. He lifted him up. Before I knew it, before I could say anything, no permission was asked. He put the baby on the front bars of the bicycle, and he went. He sped away. Now, in my mind, I'm looking out the window to see where he went. I was thinking to myself, dear God, I came to quarantine as a married woman, and I'm going to go home as a divorcee if this child only falls, because I'm bringing him to my side of the world. When he came back, he said, I had to ride him around the whole village. That was his way of doing the Lion King welcome to the child of his niece, the firstborn, the first great grandchild. And that's how loving he was. He wanted to show and demonstrate his love, and that's how he does it. That's how he used to do with me when I was a child. It's the same thing he did with my child when he saw him for the first time. A few years ago, I went back to Guyana with my children to visit, to show them where we came from, and we went for a yajna in Suriname. So going back, my Aja also, a supporter of Hindu Dharma, was an agitator and built the Radha Krishna Mandir in Golden Fleece. So now I'm going back after a long time. He had passed away. And the way I knew how to honor his memory and to show that, we're still a part of the village was I said I'm going to do a puja at the mandir. But now I've been gone for so many years. So I went to quarantine, and who did I go? I went to visit Mamu Jan, and I said, Mamu Jan, this is what I want to do. And I don't have anybody else here. And without hesitation, he said, don't worry. You don't worry about a thing. I'm coming. And everything you want to do, Priya, I'll get it done. The morning of the puja, lo and behold, at 5 o'clock in the morning, Mamu Jan, Mami Kumari, Ryan, and his wife, they all came. And just as he promised, just as he said, he took care of all the things he can. Mami Kumari helped with the cooking. He made his contribution, his bhajan as well. And everything went out without a hitch. All I had to do was ask, and he was there. And so the memories are many through the years with all of my mamus and my mausis. But Mamu Jan has always been that one that's so childlike in the way he talks to you. I never have any kind of issues with him. He never ever once said a hard word, and so those memories will live on. Tonight, I want to say thank you first to all of the villagers of number 73 village that are with us via Zoom. I know how much you'll miss him because I lived there for some time, and I've seen the contribution of my mother's family. It's vast, it's wide, it's untouchable. And I know that you'll miss him dearly. To all our family members, extended and far and near and far and wide, thank you so much for being here. To Mami Kumari, Kenny, and Ryan, we love you. And our deepest, deepest sympathy, my deepest sympathy, I'll dearly miss Mamujan. And he's gone, but never forgotten, never ever forgotten, and his memories will live on forever. My children know him, and we will celebrate his life as we are right now. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, mute. I think I'm back to you.
Check 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, Priya, for sharing those. Thank you so much for sharing those beautiful memories of Tata John. And I can definitely concur with those memories that you shared. He was that person that would go above and beyond for anyone who needed his help. I was having a discussion with Mari recently, and we were talking, and she was telling me that when he would plant his kitchen garden in his yard, um, when he would plant his kitchen garden in his yard, he would, the first crop he reaped, he would say that this crop goes to charity. This crop we're going to take and share it to all the neighbors, and we wouldn't charge a cent for this to anyone. So thank you so much for that. Next, I would like to ask my brother, Ganeshwar Ji, who has been joining us night after night, to make his contribution. Over to you, Ji Ganesh. Ganesh Ji, can you unmute your mic? Okay, it seems like he is not ready right now, so we will move on with the program. I would now like to call upon another of my dad's siblings, and I'm not sure if she's ready, but I would like to ask my auntie Sati, my Pua Sati, to make her contribution. Auntie Sati, please unmute your mic.
Speak now? Yes. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can't
Hi.
speak.
Yeah. Hi. Good night, everyone. My name is Sati Devi Jagdeo, and I am the middle child of the Jagdeo's family. 4 is older than me, and I am older than 4. And so, you know, and after my sister got married to that wonderful young man, Mr. Vishnu Ramesh Ramdat, I was only 13. So then I was left with some active boys. All right. And then, you know, we all have to pull our weight because it's not a welfare state. But I would like to sing this little song, and my message is in this song. I have lived a life of sin in this world I'm living in. I have done forbidden things I shouldn't do. I've asked a beggar along the way if he could tell me where to stay, where I can find wealth, happiness, and love that's true. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there's no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Follow the footsteps of the King till you hear their voices ring. They'll be singing of the glory of the land. The river Jordan would be there. Sound of trumpet you will hear, and you'll be holding the most precious face ever known to man. Across the bridge, there's no more sorrow. Across the bridge, there is no more pain. The sun will shine across the river, and you'll never be unhappy again. Farewell, my dear brother John. When you cross that river, brother, you cross it already in my belief, and you will never, ever, ever be unhappy again. Love forever. And I hope that we will all meet one glorious day for one reunion, you and Bonnie. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Thank you very much, Auntie Sati, for those very touching words and for singing so very beautifully. Um, as you all know, we've lost my Chacha Bunny as well. He was the first to go. And now we've lost my dear Chacha John. Um, I don't know how the family is going to recover from these two great losses, but nevertheless, we'll pray to God and ask for strength. And with the love and support from all of you, I'm sure we'll be able to survive this. Next, I would like to invite my dad's cousin, who would also be the cousin of my dear Chacha John. Um, his name is Nirmal Gurdial, Uncle Nirmal Gurdial, all the way from Canada. We would like to ask of you to make your contribution. Yeah. If you could please unmute your mic. Uncle Nirmal, if you can send us a message in the chat, let us know what name you're under so we can unmute you and have you make your contribution. Also, if my dad's cousin, Uncle Monesh, if his wife Auntie Baby is available, I would like to let you know that you will be our next participant this evening. Auntie Baby, if you're available, we'd like to ask of you to make your contribution now. Can you please unmute your mic? I'd like to ask Auntie Tiny to stand by as she will be the next contributor. Okay, so I'd like to call upon my dad's younger sister, who is also the younger sister of my dear Chacha John, Auntie Tiny, Oma Devi Jagdeo, known as Tiny, to make her contribution this evening. Please unmute your mic. Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, somebody speaking already? Let me hear.
Yes, we can hear you, Auntie Tiny. Go ahead.
Yes, Auntie Tanya.
I don't know. There is not words for me to express my grief. It's just like when I lost my son. I love my brother very, 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 very dearly. Um, I there's so many questions that I would like to ask God, but it would be very unfair for me to question divinity at this time. But all the answers that I'm looking for right now, maybe it's blowing in the wind. My my brother and myself was left in Guyana with my other brother Bunny, my superstar Bunny, my little Mahatma Gandhi Bunny that died. So we share so many memories. We fight like any other siblings do. But all in all, when my brother take his few drinks, he would come to look for me. There are some, we share our sorrows and we also share our joy. My brother John was such a stalwart. We are very long suffering people. And my brother, I can say, he fulfilled all his earthly obligations with dignity. I lost my brother is like when piece of my heart is gone. He was very hesitant in going to the hospital. I heard from Kumari, but I don't know if it was God divine intervention for him to go that way, for being hesitant to seek medical attention. But you know, who am I to question God, as I'm saying again? When my mother died, my brother sang a song and he explained the song. And the song says, when all comfort flee, we call on the name of Ram. And I made him sing it for Bunny when Bunny died. But who is going to sing it for me tonight to comfort me? But thank God for my dearly beloved sister, Sati. She is like my mother right now. She called me 24 hours to find out how I am doing and to recognize my big brother, who is our Sarwan Kumar. People say that they have the song Sarwan Kumar, but my big brother is Sarwan Kumar. And I also must recognize my niece, Priya, who make it possible for me to go in the hospital to see my brother, who paid the Uber. She's a girl behind the scene. She's a girl behind the scenes. I also want to recognize my brother-in-law, Vishnu, who did so much to help to bring my brother here to America. I heard my big brother said the other night that he helped us when we were small, but my siblings did everything in their power to be very good to my brother back. So we have no regrets. The only regret we have is why death snatched him away from us. When he came in America, I hadn't much time to spend with him, but I was fortunate that my big brother, my Sarwan, make it possible so I could get to see him before he went to the hospital. I just want to sing the song, a verse of the song. I'm not so versed in Hindi, but I want to sing this song the way he sing it. And the song goes like this. Kajal Bhagavat Prema Ka Naino Me Utar Kanchan Bhakti Si Maya Ho Prabhu Sumiran Ka Gyan Bolo Ram Siya Ram Bolo Ram Siya Ram, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam. I also want to recognize my nephew Yogi tonight, who is making the Jagdeo flag flying so high. I am so proud of you, my nephew, and I want you to keep it up. And God bless everyone who tune in and give us the support that we need in this trying time.
No, that's the same one of us in the Hindu.
Thank you very much for those for sharing those beautiful memories with us, Auntie Tiny, and for speaking so eloquently and singing so beautifully. I didn't know you could sing so well. Well, of course, coming from the family that we come from, it's no surprise to any of us. As you can see, all of my dad's siblings are wonderful singers in their own rights. So thank you very much, Auntie Tiny. That was truly touching, and it brought back a lot of memories. I would now like to call on a very dear friend of mine. Her
Uh,
name is.
Yogi, I am on mute when you're ready. Anytime you're
I would like to appeal to each and every one of you to please make sure you're muted unless we ask of you to unmute yourselves. I would like to ask Ms. Rita Prasad to make her contribution. She's a very dear friend of mine, a dear friend of my entire family, and we are very honored and privileged to have her here with us this evening. I would like to ask her to sing Bhajan first. Over to you, Auntie Rita.
Sitaram, everyone. To Bayogesh and Uncle Madan, I like to say my sincere condolences to you and the bereaved family, and may the soul receive resting peace. The song that I'm going to sing, it says, "Give us strength, O Lord, that the faith in our hearts never wavers. इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना, इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, दूर अज्ञान की हो अंधेरे, तो हमें ज्ञान की रोशनी दे, हर बुराई से बचते रहे हम, जितनी भी दे भली जिंदगी दे, बैर होना किसी का किसी से, भावना मन में बदले की होना, हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना, इतनी शक्ति हमें देना दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, हम न सोचे हमें क्या मिला है, हम ये सोचे किया क्या है अर्पण, फूल खुशियों की बातें सभी को, सबका जीवन ही बन जाए मधुबन, अपनी करुणा का जब तू बहा के, कर दे पावन हर एक मन का होना, हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना, इतनी शक्ति हमें दे दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, हम चले नेक रास्ते पे हमसे भूल कर भी कोई भूल होना, इतनी शक्ति हमें दे दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना, इतनी शक्ति हमें दे दाता, मन का विश्वास कमजोर होना. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Auntie Rita, for always being supportive. One thing I can always say is that whenever I call upon you for your help, you're always there for me at least, 100%. Our entire family truly appreciates the support you're showing us here this evening. Thank you so much for that beautiful bhajan. Itni shakti hame dena data, man ka vishwas kamzor hona. Bless us with this power, O Lord, that our mind will not be weak. Our mind will not be weak, especially in this time of need. I would now like to ask my dad's cousin from Canada, dear cousin of Chacha John. He's not an Uncle Nirmal Gurdial to make his contribution. Over to you, Uncle Nirmal.
Sitaram, everyone.
Super.
Sitaram, Namaste, Hari Om. On behalf of the Gurdial Ramsaran family, I extend our condolence to John's spouse and his children, and to our brother Dooley and the rest of the brothers, and our sister Tara and the rest of the sisters and their family. I regret that it's not possible for us to be there in person, but thank you for letting us be a part of the process and to share your loss and pain through Zoom. I cannot remember John. He was very young when I last saw him. But from what I'm hearing, it is my loss for not knowing him. May God bless his soul and bless you all for the wonderful and fitting celebration of his life. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरी भक्तवृंद हरे रे नाम हरे रे नाम हरे रे नाम विकेवलम कलो नास्त्य 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 आ हे गोविंद He Govind, He Gopal, He Dayal Nidhan. Prananath, Anat Sake, Prananath, Anat Sake, दीन दर्द निहार हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दया निधान हे समरथ अगम मैं पूरन आहे समरथ अगम मैं पूरन हे समरथ अगम मैं पूरन मोह माया धार हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल अंधकोप महाभया अंधकोप महाभया भया मंदकोप महाभया नानक पार उतार हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल नाथ हे गोविंद हे गोपाल हे दयाल नाथ. Namaste and my condolence again. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those beautiful words, Uncle Nirmal Gurdial. Um, Hearing you sing so beautifully, I think if you had met my Chacha once he grew up, you would have been very good friends with him. Um, Nevertheless, God had different plans for us all. I would like to now call upon Uncle Subhas and Auntie Sati to make their contribution this evening. I would like to put my Chacha Hemant on notice. He will be followed by. Thank you. Uncle Subhas, if you can unmute your mic.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Okay then. Pick up the finger. Don't sit down.
Uncle Subhas, your mic is still muted. If you can please unmute your mic.
You can hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you guys now, loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for being with us here night after night, and Isati, Uncle Subas, and the wonderful boys, for giving us all these very beautiful renditions. And as I've been saying night after night, it's very refreshing to hear a different style coming from you guys every night. We really appreciate it. Next, I would like to call upon one of my Tata John's younger brothers. His name is Heman Jagdeo. I'd like to ask my Tata Heman to make his contribution this evening, all the way from Miami. Over to you, Tata Heman. Please unmute your mic.
Good night. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tata Heman, we can hear you clearly. Yes.
Brothers and sisters, good night. I would like to say thank you to those who send their condolence in whatever way, text and phone call or whatever way they send it. To my brothers and sisters in America, tonight is indeed a sad night for all of us, and tomorrow will be even sadder. I have great memory of my brother. We play together, we work together, we do everything together. His memory that he left with me will ring with me until my dying day. My brother, farewell to you. Live we may, die we must. Life is like a vapor. It appears for a time and it then vanishes away. You vanish away. You appear and now you vanish away. All that you left with us is memory to treasure. Farewell, my brother. Farewell. I remember you in so many ways, especially in the hard times. We work together very, very hard. I love you. Farewell, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for those very touching words, Tata Heman. I know how much Tata John meant to you, especially since the two of you were living in Guyana together. I know how you felt when he migrated to the US, and I want to tell you to try to be strong. We all have to believe that he's in a better place now. He's in the arms of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. I don't think there's any place better than there to be. I would now like to ask Auntie Debbie Prashad, Auntie Baby, who is my dad's cousin, Uncle Monesh's wife, to sing for us. Over to you, Auntie Baby. I would like to ask my Chacha Georgie to stand by, as he would be the next participant.
I'm not sure if my mic is working. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
You can. Okay. Good night and Sitaram to everyone. On behalf of myself, Monesh, and the entire Prashad family, we would like to express our sincere condolences. I'm so sorry I didn't have a chance to know who John was, but just listening to all the really good memories, I can see that I'm at a loss. Monesh knows him. But I just want to express my sincere condolences. And I think he's in a better place today. I'm going to try to do a bhajan, which I haven't practiced in a while, so please bear with me. Bhoore bhai baje madhura muraliya. Bhoore bhai baje madhura muraliya. कैसे हरे जिया धीर रे भूरे भाई बाजे मधुर मुरलिया मधुबन बाजे वृंदावन बाजे तट जमुना की तीर मधुबन बाजे वृंदावन बाजे तट जमुना की तीर बैदिक रंग में बंसी बजावे बैदिक रंग में बंसी बजावे तीर भयो जमुना नीर रे भोरे भाई बाजे मधुर मुरलिया डरन जाने पीरन जाने शाम भरो बेपी डरन जाने पीरन जाने शाम भरो बेपी मेरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर मेरा के प्रभु गिरधर नागर आखिर जाता हीर रे भूरे भाई बाजे मधुर मुरलिया कैसे धरी जिया धीर रे भूरे भाई बाजे मधुर मुरलिया. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ati Baby, for singing so melodiously for us this evening. I know that's not an easy song to sing, but you did it justice and you sang it so beautifully. Support of your support means a lot to the entire family. I would now like to um, ask my Chacha Georgie, that's my dad's first cousin, and Chacha John's first cousin as well. But my dad's cousins are not cousins, they're more like brothers. And so I'd like to invite my Chacha Georgie to share some memories that he had with the dear lady. Over to you, Chacha Georgie. Please unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Chacha Georgie, we can hear you clear. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I never did something like this before, but this is something I have to do. First, I'd like to express my heartfelt condolences to Kumari, Ryan, Kenny, the grandchildren, Justin and Jaden, my brothers and sisters, and why I'm saying my brother and sisters, because that's how we lived, recognize each other's, and think about each other. Also, my sympathy to the niece and nephews, other relatives, and friends. I can go on for days about John, but I'll make this as brief as possible. He was someone who will give you all the encouragement, although you are not at your best. He always had this big smile and this movie star style in walking. He showed his appreciation by repeating your name. Many knows him for his selling talent. Few know him for his courage and determination. As a young boy, he would spend many weeks at a time in the savannas all by himself. In his time, he was one of the best athletes in our area. Fun thing about him, once we were drinking, I could remember, and Jerry had this horse in the stable by the name of Mad Max. And John told Jerry, if you feed me the way you feed that horse, I'll run past that horse anytime. Like I said earlier, we are brothers. We eat from the same pot, same plate. We even slept together on the same bed growing up. I'm very disappointed I cannot be there to console my brothers and sisters, share their sorrow. But I'll thank you for this opportunity to express my condolences and share a little about my brother John. I'll remember and cherish this time we spent together until we meet again, bro. Farewell. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for sharing those nostalgic memories, Chacha Georgie. And you're so right. I vividly remember when he said to Chacha Jerry, if you feed me all these fancy things you're sending for these horses, I can definitely run faster than these horses. I remember going to Skelton Line Path Secondary School, and my physical education teacher at the time was no other than the great Egbert Jackson, who had represented Guyana in these international races. Um, and I remember hearing a story about how my Chacha John actually beat Mr. Edward Jackson in a race. And I remember how proud I was to know that my uncle was able to do that. I was also told that he beat the famous what's the name, Katabali in a race as well, in a cross country race, and my dad is saying, through Gaisuku cross country race. And as you know, Katabali was a national champion when it came to running. So Chachajan was not an ordinary athlete, and he was someone that we were all so very proud of, so very proud of. I would now like to ask Auntie Carmen and Uncle Bob to make the contribution in the form of one bhajan, after which we will hear from a very good friend of the family, Dr. Walter Singh, and I know he's done a lot for Chacha John in terms of treating him. And I would like to ask him to make his contribution after Uncle Bob and Auntie Carmen do us this bhajan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. Yes.
Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramchandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namah. Namaskar and Sitaram to everyone. Thank you for allowing me into your satsang here tonight for the continuation of this satsang with the family and friends of the late Bhai Surendra. And I like to compliment also that Bhai Duli is doing a wonderful job. And I'm looking forward to hear more of him later on anyways. My contribution tonight is a bhajan I hope can soothe the hearts and minds of the bereaved. But I will delve a little bit into what it says. In this bhajan, the poet says, sing the name of the Lord Hari. One of the ways we we pay attention to God is to sing his praises and thus bringing about the feelings of happiness. The song says happiness is hard to come by, but by singing of bhajans and religious songs, we get the feeling of happiness and peace of mind. So why do we go about getting fooled by dazzling and material objects, which in the end can lead to disappointments and hellish state of being? The days and nights are slipping by, so change course, O man, and sing the name of the Lord. And here, the poet here quotes this verse in Uttarkhand of the Ramcharitmanas, where it says, Pare bhag Pare bhag manush tan pawa Pare bhag manush tan pawa Surendra sab granth hi gawa Surendra sab granth hi gawa साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा साधन धाम मोक्ष कर द्वारा पाई न जाई परलोक संग द्वारा पाई न जाई परलोक संग द्वारा श्री राम जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा भरे भाग मनुष्य तन पावा सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथन ही गावा. It is great fortune that you have secured this human body, which, as the scriptures declare, is difficult even for the gods to attain. Sadhana dham, this human body, should be used for spiritual practices. Mokshakar dwara. This body is the gateway or the doorway to deliverance or moksha. So, paina jai par lok sangavara. Even though you have this human body, there is no guarantee that you will go to heaven. The analogy here is like playing the lottery. You buy a ticket, but you're not sure to win the jackpot. I know some people, they write down the number and they think that the number will call, and sure enough, that number called. But you know what? They forgot to buy the ticket. So that ticket, this body is that ticket or the vessel which takes you to the door of deliverance or moksha. So, of course, the soul is not destroyed, just the body would be destroyed, but it takes you up to that door. So, Hari ke bhajan bina kam na aya, without singing bhajans, you are missing the opportunity to be free. Jimi nishapal deepak bina batiya, there's no benefit. You will be like a lamp that has no wick, So, don't look outward, look inward, and you will see his smiling face. So why look for him in forests and mountains and in caves? So you look inward, you will see him see his smiling face. So heed his timely advice for your own benefit. Don't place your trust in falseness of the world. So Hari Charanan me karunitaratiya, show your love for God and your life will be fulfilled. Here's the bhajan. Hari ka bhajan, Hari ka bhajan kar le mere mathiya, bhajan bina na mile shubha gatiya. Hari ka bhajan kar ले मेरे मठिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया. क्या विषयों में फिरत भुलानी, क्या विषयों में फिरत भुलानी, अंत काल सब नरक निशानी, अंत काल सब नरक निशानी, जावत बीत काल दिन रथिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे मथिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया। जग दुर्लभ मनुष्य तन पाया, जग दुर्लभ मनुष्य तन पाया, हरि के भजन बिना काम न आया, हरि के भजन बिना काम न आया, निष्फल दीपक बिन रथिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे मथिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया। प्रीतम है तेरे तन के अंदर, प्रीतम है तेरे तन के अंदर, क्या खोजे बन पर्वत कंदर, क्या खोजे बन पर्वत कंदर, उलट देखी घट माही सुरतिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे मथिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे मथिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया। ब्रह्मानंद वचन हितकारी, ब्रह्मानंद वचन हितकारी, क्या और जगत के झूठियारी, चोर जगत के झूठियारी, हरि चरण में करुणित रतिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे मथिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया, हरि का भजन कर ले मेरे मथिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया, भजन बिना ना मिले शुभ गतिया। Thank you very much. Thank you.
very much, Uncle Bob and Auntie Carmen and kids as well. We really appreciate your support night after night. It means a lot to the family. I would now like to call upon a fellow villager, someone who is like a brother to my dear Chacha John, and he's no other than the younger brother of Uncle Robert Tyndale, who you heard from a couple of nights ago. If you know the Tyndales and you know the Jagdeos, and you know that the two families are very close, and I would like to ask Uncle Stephen Tyndale to make his contribution now. Uncle Stephen, please unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, correct.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's a very sad evening for all of us, from 73 especially. To talk about John, I wouldn't exactly know where to start from, because our entire history wraps around itself. 3 families of number 73, and time I've talked about that. The Jagdeos, the Kumars, and the Ramsings. We're all like one collective family. And when a member of the family died, the pain is felt all across the board. I prayed for John like I prayed for myself as I was suffering from coronavirus. I suffered the coronavirus. I was on the verge of death, and I came back miraculously. But as I prayed for myself and I heard about John in the sickness, I prayed for him as well, and many times per day. I really didn't want him to go, because when you think of John, there are no moral turpitudes you could ever say. There is no semblance of evil that you know about this guy, something that was pronounced and dangerous about John. A fine character. We grew up together. He was just a couple of years older than me. We played cricket, and oftentimes everybody talk about that. He was a very good cricketer. And there's one moment I'd like to reiterate here today. When we were little, we played family versus family, the Jagdeos against the Tyndales. And my taste in cricket is beautifully deplorable. I could add on a second note. But I had to face John. He had a way of pitching the ball all the way up. And me, a beginner, I just didn't know how to handle it. I was struck from in front on the right instep. The pain made me never love cricket anymore. But the good thing was that my brother was the umpire, and he said not out, and the game continued. But that's just one little moment that we had. And there are many more. Like whenever we were home there in 73, and John and Bonnie and the rest of the villagers know, they would come home there and we'd have a gathering as if it's another wedding. It's so much laughter. Whenever you think about John, you get this genuine portrait of laughter. He was one happy soul, and I know that happiness goes with him wherever he's gone. I'm deeply saddened, but as a man, I've cried enough over the season. It seems as if it's the season of death, where so many close loved ones all left right around the same time, some with corona, some without. And now we're fighting hard, but it seems as if we're gaining like an immunity to death, where we handle the pain a little better. Because I never thought of it, I would be able to say something on a day like this about John, a guy that's like another brother to us. I'm saddened, and I should say, my condolences go out to the families, the Jagdeos especially, and to Kumari and the children. I like them to know that we all love them, and they're never alone. As long as there's anything that we could do, they're our nephews as well. If there's anything we could do, we'd be stretching out a hand to help. We love you all, and we share the pain. Thank you. I agree with you.
Thank you very much for those beautiful words, Uncle Stephen. And yes, of course, Chacha Jan had a dangerous run-up. I would now like to invite my dear little daughter. I would now like to invite to the microphone my dear little daughter Divya to do a very special bhajan for her late Ajo John. Um, this is the first time these kids are really performing. This is the first time these kids are performing, and I would like to ask you to bless them and to bear with them if they make any mistakes. Um, we've had my beautiful niece Suri, who did a very, very, very soothing song. Um, and then last night we had our little Shriya, and she also did very beautifully. And tonight I present to you my daughter, Divya. Over to you.
I'd like to sing a song. I like to sing a song for my late Aljo John by one of his favorite singers, Anito. Oh, He Sharidima, He Sharidima, Anyani Tosi, Anitaridima, He Sharidima, He Sharidima, Anyani Tosi, Anitaridima.
Thank you very much, Divi, for doing that so very beautiful. As you know, Chacha Jan was a lover of Anumjalota bhajans, and so she decided to sing this bhajan in tribute to her dear late Ajo John. Um, Next, I would like to call upon someone who is a very dear family friend to us, and he's no one other than Uncle Balram Prasad. I would lovingly call him Chachabal or Uncle Bali. And we would like to ask of him to say a few words for us this evening. Over to you, Uncle Bali.
Sitaram, can you hear me across?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Uncle Bali.
My dear ones, this evening, as we have gathered through this Zoom media in paying homage and memoriam of the passing of this departed loved one, I ask of you to please join with me in this few moments of pratna unto Bhagwan. For it's times like this, it is only him who we can turn to, Bhagwan, in seeking his guidance to give us fortitude, courage, faith, and strength in order to grasp, in order to understand, comprehend, and to able to cope with such a great loss. For losing a loved one, it is never easy. There's never a word of consolation to a wife to have lost a husband, and vice versa, or a children who have lost their father, or the siblings who have lost their brother, or nephews, nieces, and we examine the whole relationship. Even if you're a pandita and you are learned in the scripture, when death knocks on your door, it takes a whole different twist altogether. But if one understands and realize and have confidence in our scripture, then one is able to go through this transition, this period, with great ease. And so I ask of you, as we sit in our homes in various parts of these worlds through this medium of Zoom, because of this pandemic that this entire world is faced with, which has caused us to compromise our fragile way of living, of practicing our rituals, our cultures, has compromised it. But again, through technology, we're able to adapt in such a way where a great deal of respect and appreciation and memory of this nature can be able to afford it to the loved ones and the departed ones as well. So I ask of you, together let's group our voices for these few moments in prayer to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. He's Antarayami, he's Jagat Guru of this entire universe. We ask of his blessings, his guidance. Hari Om Sri Ganeshaya Bhyo Namah. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachano Ramaradhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagataguru Om Mukhaṁ Karoti Vachalam Pangulam Gayati Girim Yata Kripatam Vande Paramananda Madhuvam Om Govinda Govinda Hari Murari Govinda Govinda Ratangapani Govinda Govinda Mukunda Krishna Govinda Govinda Mo Namaste. Iti se Sri Maha Krishna Chan Bhagwan Ki Jai. To the entire Jagdeo Parivar, my dear brother Madanji, who I recognize today as Bhishma Pitamaha of this family, having losing a brother, his parents, and a brother again. Today he holds the mantle of this family together in great strength and unity. And I know that he's doing this with great poise. And because of his faith in Bhagwan has given him the strength to play his role and to able to fulfill his duty. And as he's doing so very diligently. To the Dharmapatni of the deceased, to the sons, and to the siblings of the deceased. I can't say that I know Shriman Surendra ji, or John as we affectionately call him, but you don't have to know a person to know greatness of that person. Because my relationship with Madanji and his elder sister Tara, as a matter of fact, Tara is married into the village where my wife has come from, Golden Fleece. And if any one of you would have known the Pare family, I want to take this opportunity, along with my family, as well as the Pare family, and extended our condolences, our sympathy to the entire Jagdeo Parivar. We want to let you know during this difficult and most trying times, we have each and every one of you in our thoughts and prayers. As we pray for you, we want you to know that your loss is our loss as well. Today, my dear ones, we have listened to so many wonderful speakers who have spoken of John, of the good-natured person that he was. And it reminds me of, I've read a few lines. It says, Nirmala jana sohi mohi pawa. Nirmala jana sohi mohi pawa. He says, if a person has a pure heart, a pure mind, and a devotion in their heart for Bhagwan, he says, that's the only requirement Bhagwan has. I have listened to all the wonderful things that you have speaking of John, who defits this statement to a T and a testament of it. I know that he is perhaps, in most minds, he has left this world too early, but that's the will of the way of the Lord. My dear ones, as we memorialize him, we must understand tonight, 3 thoughts come to mind. 1, we're here to pay our respect, to say our adieus and our goodbye to the departed one. As we pray for Bhagwan, on that day of recognition, we would have recognized that Atma and to grant moksha, salvation. We're here tonight to give solace of words of comfort to the bereaved family, to let them know that their loss is our loss. We share in their pain, we share in their sorrow and their aches, and we're here for them as we to lean a shoulder to lean on. But more so, my dear one, is that one day we too will all one day have to take exit from this world. And while we have this body, what are we doing? It's a time to pause and to reflect, introspect, and to somehow try to make some changes. And perhaps take a page or 2 from John's life to enhance ours, to make it better. Because the actions or the fruits at which we experience in this birth as we live today is due from our previous karma. And what we do, or what actions that we would have performed, would have determined our next birth to be. And so while we have this chance, let's utilize it at its max to do good, live good, be good. You know, Maharishi Patanjali, in one of his many writings, he says an Atma, or the soul, has taken many, many, many births. But he says in the body of which, when the soul is taken the body and God is realized, he said that is a blessed birth. And I can attest this statement to John, not even knowing him, but listen to the family members, spoke of his kindness, spoke of his charitable hard work that he have done, speak of his love, his affection. Those are the enduring qualities which man ought to progress for in life. And if you live by those simple principles, then when that time would have come that would have to leave this world, it would not be such a painful one. And that is why perhaps there's so many people crying and saddened, is because to know that how much of amount of good he has done and would have continued to do. It is went on to say, the writer says that in a given day, the mind has given almost 60,000 thoughts. And if you were to do the math correctly, that would equate to about, I would say, 42 thoughts or so per second. I want to ask you this. How much of that are we pertaining towards God? We heard about John being a wonderful singer, being in satsang, being in with the learned ones. That, my dear friends, is how we ought to be. Ramayana tells us, Janama marana sabasukha dukkha bhoga hani labu priya milana bhoga. The force of opposites, we all have to face it one day. We all have to prepare for this. Birth and death, gain and loss, happiness and sadness, all these things. As unconquerable as the night and day, so too shall come birth and death, which we'll have to face. So, my dear ones, today, we want to let you know, my dear brother, Madam, Tara, the siblings, the dear wife, and the sons, we have you all in our thoughts and our prayers during most difficult times. As the word of Kabir Das, he says, O man, do not me any doubt, for from this treacherous pain there is a way out. For Bhagwan's name you must attain, for sure we live in a world where pain does pervade. For only his name can destroy this pain. His name is like a rescue boat, one that sails the stormy ocean and still stay afloat. So with these words, again, we pray for the Atma, the soul of this, our dear departed brother, Sriman Surendraji. We pray and ask Bhagwan that on Judgment Day, may you recognize that soul and grant solace unto him. Hari Om Anadina Dhanadeva Shanka Chakra Garadara Akshaya Pundarikakshanam Preta Mukshor Pradhor Bhava Preta Mukshor Pradhor Bhava Preta Mukshor Pradhor Bhava Ram Nam Sathe Sab Koi Gathe Ram Nam Sathe Sab Koi Gathe Ram Nam Sathe Sab Koi Gathe. Hari Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om. Over to you, back, dear Sanyogi ji.
Beautiful words, Uncle Bao. Words cannot express what it means to the entire Jagdeo family to have your support with us here this evening. Next, I would like to say that we are going live on YouTube as well under the channel Jagdeo Residents. So for those of you who would like to join with us on your TVs or on devices via YouTube, you can do so. I would like to now ask my Chacha Jerry, my dear Chacha Jerry, to make his contribution this evening. Over to you, Chacha Jerry.
Yo.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. I want to thank you for making this possible, your father, and all your circles that have tried their best to put the pieces together. And in these times of sorrow, I cannot express my gratitude to all these people who have spoken so wonderfully and have sing so wonderfully that they have covered actually everything. But there are certain things that cannot cover the brothers. Only brothers know that. And if I should even go to the pastimes of my younger days with my elder brother and him, I was in the middle. The two was, they were older than me, but I had so many fun with him and your father that I can write a book about it, especially with that of your father and him. They teach me so many things, and it is so sad that when you turn the memories of the pages back, it brings so much joy, but then it is cut short. This is the material world. Happiness is always temporary. There is nothing pleasing in the material world. If it is pleasing, even is only for a short period of time. Then it is intermingled with sorrow. So many people have spoken about my brother, and so many people have expressed their feelings. That I want to thank everybody for giving their views and singing and doing everything. My sisters, my brothers, wherever they may be. At this point of time, I really go back to all my family who have died. My eldest auntie at 64, her daughter, I was a young kid then. But I can remember her that we used to spend holidays by their house, and they were so kind to us. I can remember our childhood days, my brother and my aunt, and my Pua and Chachaji and everybody. It was a wonderful time in 73 growing up. I am not that much of a singer, as you know, but the time has come for me to tell my brother goodbye and let him sleep as me and the rest of you keep wake. I'm trying to sing this one verse of the song because I'm not that well. Ram Kare, Ram Kare, साउझाए मेरे निंदिया तोहे मिल जाए मैं जागू तू सो जाई मैं जागू तू सो जाए ओ राम करे साउझाए मेरे निंदिया तो ही मिल जाए मैं जागू तू सो जाए मैं जागू तू सो जाए ओ गुजर जाए सुख से तेरी दुख भर रतिया बदलू में कौन से किया गुजर जाए सुख से तेरी दुख भर रतिया बदलू में कौन से किया बस में अगर हो या बतिया मांगू दुआए को खाए मेरे निंदिया को ही मिल जाए मैं जागो तू सो जाए मैं जागो तू सो जाए Thank you.
Thank you so much for that very beautiful and touching rendition. You sleep and I'll keep awake. Tu so jai, my jago. We always sing that song with so many emotions, Shashwati. Next, I'd like to invite my poor Tara, the elder sibling of the Jagdeo family, to make her contribution this evening, which will be followed um, by my dad, who will do the eulogy of the. I would also like to pay my humble respects, my humble pranam to all the pundits that are here with us this evening. I know my dear brother Pandit Ganeshi is here, Pandit Sateshi is here, and of course, a very special welcome to our dear, our Kulguru, Pandit Satyanand Sharma. Without much further ado, I'd like to hand it over to my poor Tara.
Yes. Hello. Say hello. Hello, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes.
You hear me? Okay. Again, hello. Good night to everyone. Thanks from the bottom of my heart to all of you who have joined in with us. We appreciate it and we'll long cherish these memories. Your kind words for my brother and to all of us. I have to tell you today, I just think with me, my eldest brother, Dooley, he collected me from the doctor and he came home to my house and we were reminiscing about our family and my brother. And we take our memory back to childhood days. And I said, my brother said to me, and I said to him, and that I cannot remember anything bad about our family. We're just stars in the village. Anybody calling us to give a speech, to sing a birthday song, in cricket, everybody's religious questions used to be answered. My father was a very learned man. And history, they want to clarify anything in history. We are a very upstanding family. We have contributed well to our society. And we grew up so well together that if there was one time I had expected a miracle from God, it was this time. However, God chooses to not make it possible. While I respect that, While I respect that, I cannot tell you how torn I am. My brother is leaving, and he's going to his home, the eternal home. And my heart, he takes a little piece of me. And it will never be the same, Johnny. My husband has requested me to sing the song that was made popular by my mother-in-law. She was a Hindi scholar and she took it out from the Brahmana Mara. She taught me many songs because before getting married, I was a Christian and I knew how to sing, but I didn't sing a lot of Hindi songs. So this is her bhajan, and it is so appropriate. When Lord Krishna was leaving to go from Mathura to go to Gokul, all the girls and the gopis were crying, and Radha was hurting, and that is what is happening in our family. Our Krishna is leaving to go to his Gokul, and we are sorrowing and we are crying. I am spent for the last 7 weeks. I've been calling the hospitals, calling my brother, calling my sister-in-law, crying and praying like I've never prayed before. But God, you have done it well, and I still thank you and praise you and ask you for your continued mercy and faith. Tomorrow is going to be a very hard day for us. Put your loving arms around us and see us through that day. Thanks again to everyone. I love you guys. I cannot tell you how much your contribution means to us. Tu jaye pase batuda mohan gokul kab aayenge. Tu jaye pase mathura mohan gokul kab aayenge. मोर में कुछ पीतांबर माला गले पहरावेंगे जमुना तट पर वालन के संग जमुना तट पर वालन के संग धेनु चरावेंगे धेनु चरावेंगे तू जाए बसे मथुरा मोहन गोकुल करवाएंगे मीठी धुन से शाम मनोहर बैन बचावेंगे वृंदावन की कुंज गलियन में वृंदावन की कुंज गलियन में रास रचावेंगे और रास रचावेंगे तू जाए बसे मथुरा मोहन गोकुल करवाएंगे चिन चिन सखियन से दूंगी माखन कब खावेंगे राधा प्यारे सोच करे मना राधा प्यारे सोच करे मन फिर मिल जाएंगे ओ फिर मिल जाएंगे तू जाए बसे मथुरा मोहन गोकुल करवाएंगे अज्ञात रही दर्शन को कब दिखलावेंगे ब्रह्मनन हमारे मन की ब्रह्मनन हमारे मन की Ashapuna wenge. Oh, Ashapuna wenge. Tu jai base mathura. Mohan gokul kabwaenge. Tu jai base mathura. Mohan gokul kabwaenge. I believe that my brother is in a better place. He has no more physical scars, no more emotional scars, and he has left this world and he's gone. I believe in my heart of heart that he's in a better place. The family has done enough good karma to afford him that place. I would like by special request that in the view of the pandemic that is going on and everybody that was hurt with it, by a special request by my brother-in-law who asked me to sing one verse of Amazing Grace and dedicate it to all those who have lost their loved one in this time and has to do a Zoom wake like what we're doing. So
And those who are in the hospital.
and those that are in the hospital, we pray for them. They are sorrowing like us too. So if Yogi can unmute a few mics that can join me, I will be happy, including my brother Duli. He knows this song very well. 1, 2, 3. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Praise God, 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 praise God. Thank you. Over to you, Yogi. Thank you, my son.
Thank you very much, Potara. I love to hear you sing Tujai Vase Matura. You sing it with so many emotions and you do it so beautiful. You sing it like no other, of course. I'm sorry we didn't get to join you in Amazing Grace. There's a little bit of a lag when we have multiple participants unmuted at the same time. And so we don't want to take away from that beautiful performance, but thank you so much. Pastor John shared a lot of memories with all of us. And I think Uncle Stephen remarked about the way he laughed. And I was just telling my brother Yadu and my dad that Pastor John had such an eruptive laughter that it will engulf his entire being. Satnam and I were talking earlier as well, and we were talking about this very distinct memory of him. But when he would laugh, he would have to get up and walk, or get up and run, or get up and express the laughter. That was the type of person he was, and that's the way he will always be remembered. I know it's a difficult task, but I know my dad is strong enough to pull this off, and we're here with him. And as the entire family is here as well, and all of you wonderful people that has joined us here this evening. But I would like to entrust this very difficult task to him, and that is to read the eulogy of my dear late Pastor John. Over to you, my dad.
Thank you, Yog. You're doing a very wonderful job. Thank you for taking that responsibility off me. And once again, Sitaram, Namaste, Assalamu Alaikum, good evening. This unpleasant task is mine again. And my brother also did much of this, and I'm getting tired of this now. Eulogies and wakes and all these things. It is becoming overbearable. But it's a necessary duty that I have to do. One, although it is one that I never expected to do for him, but that he would probably do for me. My brother John was born on the 6th of June, 1960, to Dharam Day and Jagdeo Suknath of number 73 village. He was the third child among 9 siblings. They are in order of their birth: Tara Ramdat, Madan Jagdeo, of course John, the late John, Mahendra Jagdeo, Sati Jagdeo, late Princhan Kumar Jagdeo, known as Bunny, Hemant Jagdeo, Omar Jagdeo, known as Tiny, and Rohit Jagdeo, known as Baby. Our father became ill very early in life, and John had to leave school to help supplement the income at home. As a young boy, he attended Messiah Primary School. He was employed by a close relative of ours, a man by the name of Lagan, the late Lagan, to help graze his cattle and to tend the few that we had. Once, when he was away from home for about 2 weeks at a stretch, my mother couldn't bear his absence and sent me to get him. I went by horseback. It was a very long distance and arrived to where he was about 3 p.m. I still remember how excited he was to see me and how eager he was to return home. I was supposed to spend the night with him, but he was so eager to go home right away that he said that let us go straight, travel right now. We rounded up our cows and we started the long drive home. We passed all these desolate places, these haunted places. The two of us, 2 little boys and a few head of cattle, and arrived home in the wee hours of the morning. Needless to say, my mother never allowed him to go back to work in the savannas. In the meantime, John was running rampant in cricket. I must emphasize, in cricket, he was a fearsome bowler. I remember one time, we have village rivalry, 72 versus 73. And John and Robert Tyndall, they were on top of their game. And it was getting dark. And the members of the other team were asking the batsman to appeal for light. And my father, who was watching the game too, he said, "You guys are behaving as if you have Truman and Statham bowling there." Another elderly gentleman by the name of Mr. Ragnath said, "They're no less, Jagdeo, they're no less than Truman and Statham." John was an athlete beyond compare. There was no competition nowhere around that could touch him. He won all the local races. When he worked for Gaisuko, he represented Gaisuko in cross-country races. As my son said, he rivaled the great Katavali and Sharma and all these guys who were running for Gaisuko. And he would always come in with his handy stick in first. And so, in 1975, I passed my GC exams and started teaching at Skeleton Lane Park. After teaching for 2 years and being unable to get entrance in institutions of higher learning, I migrated to Suriname and did construction jobs, and John joined me, and the two of us supported the family from Suriname. In 1979, we came back to Guyana, and I found employment at Skeleton Estate, and John got a job at the Pegasus Hotel in Georgetown. In 1979, I got a scholarship from Gaisuko and started studying agriculture at Manrepos. While I was there, I authorized my father to receive my salary, and I would get pocket money from John, who was living in Georgetown. Our father passed away in 1981, and shortly after I graduated from GSA and started to again work at the Skeleton Estate, and John started working as a laborer at the rice mills. It was there that he distinguished himself as a tower of strength. He was best at quartering paddy bags. Everyone would marvel at the great strength and stamina that he had. In the meantime, the restlessness uh, was in me, and I migrated to Trinidad. In the meantime, my mother found a beautiful young lady in our village for John, my sister-in-law Kumari. I came back from Trinidad to help in their wedding, and we had a wonderful time. From their union, two tall, strong, handsome uh, sons were born, Ryan and Kenny, my nephews. John loved his wife dearly and doted on his children. No one is capable of loving like John. The amount of dular he showed to his two sons and his grandsons, Justin and Jaden, you have to see to believe. Although they were big, he would hug them and kiss them in public, and he would dote on them. Sometimes the boys would feel embarrassed the way he would hug them, love them up. John secured a job at Parsons Hotel and Bar at Skeleton because of his experience with Pegasus, and was doing uh, very well. But the job would keep him late in Skeleton, and sometimes he would have to walk home because of transportation problems. One night he was returning late from work on foot. As he was passing Scottsburg, two Afro-Guyanese boys jumped him and held on to him, wanting to rob him. Mind you, I don't have anything against Afro-Guyanese, please. Want to emphasize the athletic ability of John. John begged them not to hurt him, all the time maneuvering to get a break. And when he finally was pointed towards home, he pulled himself away. He suddenly broke free, and the chase was on. They chased him till number 74 village, but they couldn't overtake him. The next day, I was at the order line and I heard people saying, "Man, there's a boy from down the coast, and that boy could run like an Olympic champion." He said, "We chased him last night, but we couldn't touch him." You know, the Afro-Guyanese boys prided themselves with speed, and they could run, but they couldn't touch him at all. John shortly left that job because of the danger it posed. Our mother migrated to the USA, and shortly after that, my sister Sati, my brother Jerry, my sister Tara, my brother Rohit, known as Baby, and then myself in 2003. I'm going very fast here. There's a lot that I left out, but if I continue to talk about John, we'll have to read a novel here. I also migrated, and in the meantime, John and I became very involved in religious singing, etc. John, through our help, got his own group and was doing very well back home. My mother sponsored John, but unfortunately, she passed away in 2007 before John could get through. Nevertheless, we picked up the papers. My sister Tara, my brother-in-law Vishnu, my sister Sati, my brother Jerry. We all worked assiduously to get him approved to come. We succeeded in May 2019, and John was over the moon to come here. He migrated on 25th of May with his wife Kumari and his youngest son Kenny. We had a very happy reunion with family and friends who hadn't seen John in ages. He attended pujas and wakes over here also, as we lost many of our dear ones during that time, during that year also. After spending some time with us, he got a place and of his own and moved to his own residence with the help of dear friends and family to begin life in the USA. We would speak on the phone regularly until that fateful day when I get about 2.5 months ago, when he called to tell me that he was not feeling well and if I could tell him a medical place that he could go to. The rest, everyone knows. Tomorrow, John will be cremated on his birthday. It is surreal. I still can't wrap my head around this. our heart, it is a tremendous loss, not only for his family, for his wife, for his children, his grandchildren, his cousins, and all the family, but for the community at large. He had he had a lot to offer. He was a great human being of whom we felt he had a lot more to give to society. I tried to share Bhagavad Gita with the members of the senior center, but no amount of theory can prepare one for a moment like this. Arjun was taught the Bhagavad Gita by none other than Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Yet when his son Abhimanyu died, he was beyond himself with grief. He told Krishna, I cannot live. I will not be able to live if I don't see my son again, or if I do not get that person who took the life of my son. But we have to come to grips with this. Now we have to say farewell. Farewell, my brother. You take a piece of us, a piece of each one of us, as you leave this world. We brought you here with so much high hopes. But the drama, the leela of life continues. In tribute to John, myself and my son Yogi, we would like to do this song. This bhajan tells us, like my Tara sister sang, when Bhagavan Sri Krishna was leaving Gokul to go back to Dwarika, to Mathura, it said that everything was sad. Yashoda Maya was sad. The Gwal Bals, the Gopis and the Gwal Bals, they were all sad. Everything was crying. The bhajan says, even the trees were crying, even the rocks, the river, Yamuna, everything was crying. Why? God was leaving the place. In our Hindu tradition, when someone gets married for that day, he is God. He's worshipped. He's treated like a bridegroom. And he's supposed to be worshipped lifelong by his wife. And so when he leaves this world, it is as if our Krishna is also leaving. And so in tribute to my fallen brother, I would like to do this. मैया की ममता तझे गज बाबा का प्यार ग्वाल बाल की मित्रता गोपियन के तज के सब परिवार का तज मुरली की तान अपनों से मुख मोर के मथुरा चले सुना सुना लागे ब्रज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ सुना सुना लागे ब्रज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ मेरे घर का जमुना रोए मधुबन
रोए कदम की छैया
भर भर नैना रोए गवाले
भरे भरे नैना रोए निकाले
रोए ब्रिज की गैया राह रोक कर रोए मन सुखा राह रोक कर रोए मन सुखा बिछड़ रहे और शाम गए
सुना सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ तेरे घर जाऊं सुना सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ तेरे घर जाऊं छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले छोड़ चले छोड़ चले सुना सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले घर
बोल सके ना घर के पंछी असवन से भरने
असुवन से भरने
आजा कान्हा नाचा कान्हा नाचा कान्हा
आजा कान्हा नाचा कान्हा तू केरे पिंजरे
नदिया रोए गिरिवर रोए रे कान्हा
सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले घर सुना सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले घर
प्रेम दीवानी राधा रानी भर नैनन में पानी ओ प्रेम दीवानी राधा रानी भर नैनन में पानी सुबह सुबह का है हाय रे कान्हा हाय रे कान्हा सुबह सुबह का है हाय रे कान्हा तूने बिरहा के पीर न जाने कैसे कटेगी तू बिन साथी जीवन के अफसाने
सुना सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले घर सुना सुना लगे बिरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले घर छोड़ चले घर छोरी चले घर जा छोरी चले घर जा छोरी चले छोरी चले छोरी चले घर जा सुना सुना लागे विरज का धाम गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम.
Go in peace, my brother. Give us your blessings. Leave your blessings with us. May you attain to the heavenly regions. That your good karma will keep you. And may you be born in this world to continue striving for liberation and God will raise your soul. Thank you all.
May Bhagavan Shri Krishna bless your soul wherever it is, Dr. John. We will hear the mystery. I would now like to ask our full guru, Pandit Satyanand Sharma, to make his contribution this evening. Over to you, Satyanand.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. My brother Madanji, other siblings of our dear late brother Johnny, Auntie Kumari, children and grandchildren. I know that the cremation is tomorrow, and so as that time creeps up, it gets more difficult for all the family members and for all of us who knew John. I heard some great stories tonight, and I have so many great stories to share. I will do that as the nights go by. But before I say a few prayers, I just want to say thank you to Johnny, I guess to the Jagdeo family, for the contribution that Johnny has made to society, and particularly to my village. He's contributed in so many different ways and contributed abundantly. His passion for music was centered at the mandir. At 73 Mandir, there was a time when we were there together for a few years. And those of you who were there would know that this is true, that everybody wanted to come to 73 Mandir. Why? Because there was great music there. That music Johnny gallantly contributed to in all his abilities every Sunday and whenever we had special occasions. John would be there, and so I'm grateful for that on behalf of my family, my dad and my Aja and everyone, for his contribution to the temple. He contributed in the field of sports for my village. I still remember him in his whites, how fit he was. Age didn't matter to him. He was always fit. He was fast. I remember his long run up. So many people talked about that, but in my opinion, it was abusive to the batsman when John sets off with that long run up, and he followed up equally with his stride and delivery. And like Robert said a few nights ago, cramping the batsman for room. All those things are true. I also remember when he bowled an occasional bad ball, which is only human, how upset he'll get. And he'll put his hands to his waist, both hands, and he'll look around the field like it was the grass's fault or something, because he didn't like to bowl a bad ball. But because of Johnny, we won many games. As a matter of fact, I remember him mostly as a main bowler for a team we called HYO, the Hindu Youth Organization. That was a fearsome team. And thanks to 5 of the Jagdeo brothers being there, led by, Madanji and Jerry and Hemant and Baby, and we had great batting lineup, great bowling lineup, and John was always the center. He was always excited. We would go to Monday or Sunday morning, and right after Monday, we were ready for cricket, and we'll spend the whole day together. And then, if John doesn't get by our house in the bottom house in the evening, he'll come next morning early, and then we'll Monday morning quarterback about a game, especially if we didn't win. But it was difficult for any team to win the HYO. You had to come, and this is factual. They came from Port Morant and Rose Hall, where they represent Guyana, and come together to defeat that team. And it's all largely because of Johnny. He represented and contributed to sports in Guyana, represented his country. I personally think that, if he harnessed his athletic abilities, Johnny would have been known internationally. Not something he was always willing to do. He was always concerned in, about fulfilling his role as a breadwinner of his home, and he did that to the best of his ability. And so I remember so many things I was telling Yogi this afternoon, so many jokes I want to make about John, because when John pulls up with his bicycle, which is usually, going at great speed, there's some laughs coming. I've never been in his company once without having a great laugh. And that's not just saying because, he's not here. Everyone knows that about him. I was telling Yogi this afternoon. So we have fond memories of Johnny, and we wish him well. And I want to thank him for all his contribution in so many different ways to my village. To the contributions he made in the lives of so many other people who needed his help. I do remember what Maran Bhai said. Outside of sports and outside of singing, when he's working hard, John runs at great speed with a paddy bag on his back. I don't know where he gets the energy from, but as though he's running a race. And so whatever he did, he gave his best. And he did it well. And so like Maran Bhai, I cannot wrap my head around the fact that he's not here anymore. I spent too much time with him. But I do sympathize with the Jagdeo family. I know this is extremely difficult. There was one member of the family that not everyone knows that knows Maran Bhai and Nanti Tara and the rest of the family. For me, he was a silent giant. His name was Bonnie. He was a classic gentleman. And I say that because I also spent many, many years with Bonnie and I together, alone. But it is unfortunate that we have to speak of these gentlemen in past tense. And I imagine how hard it is on the rest of the siblings to have to say goodbye to them. But I feel your pain. I share your grief. I've spent a lot of quality time with these gentlemen also. These are brothers to me. They're members of my family. They're also children to my parents. And so on behalf of my family, I want to say thank you to Johnny and ask Bhagwan to keep Auntie Kumari strong and the children and the grandchildren and all the siblings. I hope and pray that the soul of Johnny will find a place with Bhagwan. I will chant a few prayers. Might take a few minutes. It's called the Gita Dhyanam. I ask Bhagwan to bless Johnny's soul, to bless all the siblings and the extended family with strength, with inspiration, with understanding, and a knowing that Bhagwan, that God is with us, not only in this human body, but wherever we are, as a subtle body or a causal body, whether we're in heaven or earth, God is with us. Let us take comfort in that He is with Johnny at this time as we speak. Hari Om Partaya Patibodhatang Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatamанусандадами Bhagavat Gite Bhavadeshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullara Vindayatapatanetra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purna Prajalito Jnanamaya Pradipa Prapanna Parijataya Totaveta Ekapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Duhe Namah Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopal Nandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gita Mritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Rata Jayadata Jalangandhar Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Bahani Karanena Velakula Ashvathama Vikarna Ghoramakara Duryodhana Vartini Suktirna Khalu Pandavaya Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshava Parasharya Vachas Sarojamamalam Gita Artagandotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Shambho Tava Shambhodhanavoditam Loke Sajjana Shatapadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam Kalimalam Pradvanshinah Sreshaye Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatakripa Tamaham Bande Paramananda Madhavam Yang Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Devyai Hastavai Vedai Hasanga Parakamo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Vastira Targatena Manasa Pasyanti Yam Yogina Yasyantam Navidu Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Nama Hari Om Shanti 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 Brindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Satyanada, for sharing those wonderful memories of Chatter John night after night, and for praying so very beautifully. As I've been saying, your support truly means a lot to the entire family, and we're lucky to have you. I would now like to ask someone who was part of Chatter John's Kirtan group in Guyana. Her name is Geeta. She's from number 72 village. As you know, Chatter John had a very vibrant Kirtan group in Guyana. He used to tell me about all the different gigs that they would play, and I remember him performing when my grand, how to say this, my mother-in-law's father passed away, who would be like my grand nana. I remember my father-in-law said very great things about the performance there, along with my mother-in-law and my wife, mom, etc. So I'd like to ask Auntie Geeta to sing a version in tribute to my Chacha John. Right after her, we do have with us again Dr. Walter Singh. I believe he was called to duty before, but nevertheless, he's back with us here this evening, so I'd like to let him know that right after Geeta sings, he will be the next participant. So over to you, Geeta. I believe you're under iPhone. We're not sure which iPhone it is. So if you can please unmute your mic, and we will try to find you. Or put on your camera as well. I believe that's the right idea. Yeah, is that an iPhone?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
My humble Sitaram to each and every one of you. First of all, I'd like to just take a minute or two to say my sympathy to Benji Kumari and the two boys. I've taught Kenny in nursery school, and he's special to me. He's very talented. He knocked for me a lot. We joined the group, and I spent a lot of time with John. He is everything that everyone has been saying. I don't want to be redundant. I don't want to repeat anything, but I just want to say one thing, that he has been very supportive of me and joining with me, and we go all over the place to sing, and we do a lot of stuff together. I'll cherish those memories. And he does love his grandkids so much. He's a very, very loving man. He was a very, very loving man. I kept saying he is, because he resides in my heart and my memories. He's like a big brother to me and a role model, and I look up to him. So God bless him. May Lord Krishna bless him. I'd like to dedicate this song to Baiji John on behalf of his Dharam Patni, Tum Hi Mere Mandir. Tum hi meri mandir, tum hi meri pooja, tum hi devata ho, tum hi devata ho, tum hi meri mandir, tum hi meri pooja, tum hi devata ho, तुम ही देवता हो, कोई मेरी आँखों से देखे तो समझे कि तुम मेरी क्या हो, कि तुम मेरी क्या हो। जिधर देखती हो उधर तुम हो, न जाने मगर किन ख्यालों में गुम हूँ। जिधर देखती हो उधर तुम हो, न जाने मगर किन ख्यालों में गुम हूँ। मुझे देख कर जरा मुस्कुरा दो, नहीं तुम समझोगे मुझसे खफा हो। तुम ही मेरी मंदिर, तुम ही मेरी पूजा, तुम ही देवता हो, तुम ही देवता हो। तुम ही मेरी माँ के गजरों की मंजिल तुम ही मेरी माथे की बिंदिया की झालर तुम ही मेरी बातों के गजरों की मंजिल मैं हूँ एक छोटी सी माटी की गुड़िया तुम ही प्राण मेरी तुम ही आत्मा हो तुम ही मेरी मंदिर तुम ही मेरी पूजा तुम ही देवता हो तुम ही देवता हो बहुत रात बीती चलो मैं सुना दूं पवन झीरी सरगम मेलोरी सुना दो बहुत रात बीती चलो मैं सुना दूं पवन झेरी सरगम मेलोरी सुना दूं तुम ही देख करे ख्याल आ रहा है ये जैसे फरिश्ता कोई सो रहा है तुम ही मेरी मंदिर तुम ही मेरी पूजा तुम ही देवता हो तुम ही देवता हो तुम ही देवता हो तुम ही देवता and these two lines for Kenny चंदा ने पूछा तारों ने पूछा हजारों से सबसे प्यारा कौन है पापा तेरे पापा ओ पापा तेरे पापा Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for those beautiful renditions. I'd just like to appeal to the subsequent participants that we would like to wrap things up, I would say around 11 o'clock or so. So I'd like to ask for you to make your contribution, but please try to keep it a little bit brief. Due to respect of time, we have an early morning. As you know, the funeral starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. As I've said, we have a very close family friend of ours, Dr. Walter Singh. I remember very vividly when my Tata John suffered some burns, and I was in Guyana. The first place that we thought to take him to was to see Dr. Walter Singh, and due to his professional advice, we took him to get better help. So, Dr. G, thank you so much for assisting our family and for being such a good friend of ours. I would like for you to say a few words. Over to you, Dr. G.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Am I on air?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot. Well, to begin with, I'd like to extend my condolences to the family, Baoji, the children, brothers, siblings, everybody. And well, I would like to ask you a couple of questions before I proceed. Now, this is going to be a series of how many sessions? It's going to go on for a week or two?
So after tonight, we're going to have tomorrow evening and then Sunday evening. And then we'll also reconvene.
Because I was on earlier and then I left and then I came back because I noticed I can still squeeze in something because the cremation is tomorrow. And well, all right. I was hoping I could be able to make a song, but I haven't been fully prepared for the song. Anyway, all right. Let me start now. Well, all right. Let me introduce myself, everybody. My name is Walter Singh. I'm from Guyana. I'm a medical doctor. Well, my interactions with John, the deceased, all right, it goes back to very, very far. I was a child at school at the time. I used to be staying at the house just next door to John's relatives, Auntie Chan and Fat Boy, Tulsi, or Robin, they call him Vinu Jaipal. You had him, then you had Kapil, you had Vijay, Mukesh, and they had Sister Roma. Then I remember the other names, like, well, of course, well, Madan is the brother, Madan, and there was other names like Tara, Heman. There was a brother Nirmal. I remember this pundit that spoke about John so much about his cricketing activities. I know John from in Georgetown. He is referring to John as in from 73 Village. So I would tell you, he had done pretty much the same. If he didn't call John's name, I would have known that he was talking about John. Because that's pretty much the way I know the guy. We used to be playing cricket in the Market Street on the pavement, in the Promenade Gardens. The man was extremely an athletic guy, very young, vibrant, strong. And yes, he was talking about fetching a rice bag. A rice bag is better fetched not while standing, while you can divide the weight and run with it. Anyway, getting away from that. John was very strong, active. He was very affable, very vibrant in the community, and he was always a joke. Just looking at John, you just thinking of a joke coming, all right? And now, apart from the sports, well, I did partake a little bit of cricket or so. There was quite a few other guys that were playing cricket with us, apart from our guys from in Georgetown. There was also this boy, Robert Tyndall. He was a policeman. He was also another player with us too. There were quite a few other guys. They were all, I mean, we were all fun together. And it was really nice with John in the group. It was never a sour moment. Always nice. He would cheer you up even if you lose in whatever, you lose your wicket early or whatever. Anyway, leaving that out, I will tell you, I mean, after this sports, I mean, there's another kind of sport. But John was like a specialist in every activity. I mean, the cricket is a sport. And after cricket sport, he was really a boss there as well. And I do remember this man in particular in the field of music. He just loved songs and singing and music. I was in New York up to just before they stopped the travel ban. I went to witness. I went for a funeral in Rockaway, at the funeral home in Rockaway, and there was a viewing there. And the subsequent night, I learned that there was a viewing of a relative, a far relative from 47 Village, uncle named Uncle Wicked. And the same time, that is where I saw John the last time I saw him. Alive. I was in Rockaway and I saw him there and we spoke. He was there, Bauji, and I asked him, I said, what are you doing here? These are not your family. He said, no, they're very, very close people to him and so on, and he came to sing. I said, wow, isn't that great? Anyway, yeah, and he was also full of life. And that was like hardly not even 2 months back, I think, or 3 months back. And look what happened here now. I'm really, really saddened about the whole thing. John has been a dear friend of mine for a very long time, and I knew him, his brother as well. And I'm talking about since I was in Georgetown. Now, I came up to Berbice after so many decades as a medical doctor, and I interacted with John. Well, he had his few challenging moments, and so with Burns, as had been alluded to earlier by another member there just now. I believe that's his son. Yeah, he had burns. We tried our best to see what we could do for him. Subsequently, he had some little challenging moments in his health, but not life threatening. All right. And oh yes, I do remember this man. He could come, he could light up on the bed, he could put on the music, right? Techie saline or whatever he got, techie injections, and he put on the music and he singing. Oh, this man was just real great and fun. And he always got a joke to give you. So anyway, I must say, I mean, John will be sadly missed. There's so many more things I can say about John. I know you got to wrap up because 11 o'clock, you say, and then you got the cremation tomorrow. You got a compact schedule. I got to allow for other speakers to come by, but I still don't want to truncate this conversation so fast. I've seen other members there that I know. I saw Vidya Pulchan, I saw Margie Mazir. I was looking at other participants, and I would like to say hello and a warm, just hello to all of you in regards to the families, and even to others who I think I know, but I can't remember them in terms of their names that is matching whatever ID they have on their cameras. But anyway, a hello to all of you, and I'm happy that you all are here to share this sad moment and condolences with John. He was really a dear friend, a great brother. He was a great father. He was everything, I mean, that the rest of you must have described. I mean, I might just be here to reiterate what have already been said. about the man. But in my perspective, I had different views of the man. You know, I've seen him in different perspectives, especially after the cricket with the little sporting and thing. John was not, he was not short of that either, you know. It was really great moments together. And I would like, in as much as I'm not quite fully prepared with this song, I want to give you one, probably a part of one. It is like, well, just let John know, well, listen, you're leaving a hateful world, all right? You're going into a better world. Wherever you're heading to is a better world. So this was from a very, very popular movie called Haki Mere Saathi. When, well, I wouldn't describe anything else. When a very dear friend of Rajesh Khanna died, but his friend was an elephant, sadly. Anyway, this is how it goes, all right? You allow me, I'll start. नफरत की दुनिया को छोड़ को खुश रहना मेरी यार नफरत की दुनिया को छोड़ के प्यार की दुनिया में खुश रहना मेरी यार खुश रहना मेरी यार नफरत की दुनिया को छोड़ के प्यार की दुनिया में खुश रहना मेरे यार खुश रहना मेरे यार इस दूर के नगरी से तोड़ के नाता जा प्यारे अमर रहे तेरा प्यार खुश रहना मेरी यार. Okay, it's just like telling a man, well, all right, you're leaving this hateful world, you're going to a loving one, all right? And just please let your love remain immortal and you will always be with us. There are other verses to the song. I'm not quite well prepared, but I just want to truncate this part with a nice mantra. I know it's a Mrityunjay mantra, and I think it's very appropriate for this. The Pandits might be able to attest to this. It's the Mrityunjay mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshya Amritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshya Amritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshya Amritat. Om. I must say thanks a lot for having an opportunity to say something for John, and I think I have done great injustice because there are so many things more I can say about John and his family to an extent too, and how wonderful even his siblings are, because I know Madan well. I know many of them, and it was so sweet, but it's such a short time. But I guess I'll be able to get, that's why I asked if you have other sessions. God forbid, it's so wonderful that we have Zoom. I mean, in view of this pandemic, this Zoom is such an opportunistic thing to, you know, I'm really happy about it. And I'm sad, but I would seize the opportunity of of trying to appear back on any one of your sessions subsequently to probably add to whatever I've already said. And I must thank thee all for allowing me to have my little debut. And I do sincerely extend my condolences once again to the family. And I do sincerely miss the man. He was a dear fellow and really wonderful guy. I hate to have to truncate my conversation now, but listen, thank you very much, all of you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Dr. J. Thank you so much for your wonderful contributions this evening and sharing those beautiful memories about my dear late Chacha. And for singing so beautifully as well. I didn't know you were such a good singer. I got to tell my Uncle Robin about that. I'm sure he knows though. Nafrat ki duniya ko chhod kar khush rehna mere yaar. Leaving this world of hate, I hope you always remain happy. Next, we have in our midst the president of the New York Hindu Milan Mandir, Uncle Vic, Vikram Deonarayan, and I would like to ask for him to make his contribution now, which will be followed by my Pua, my Roma Pua, who is the cousin, or more like a sister to my dear late Chacha John, after which we will have Uncle Danny Tyndall, and then we will have the eldest son of my dear late Chacha John, my brother Mukesh Kumar Jagdeo, known as Ryan, followed by yours truly. I will do two of my dear late Chacha's favorite songs, and then we will bring the curtains down. As I've said before, I'm hoping that we can all stay as brief as possible, so this way we're not here. As Dr. G said, if we were to really speak on the life of my dear late Chacha, we would have to be here maybe a year from now with non-stop talking. So over to you, Uncle Vic, for you to make your contribution. It means a lot to myself and family to have you here with us this evening. Over to you, Uncle Vic, from the other end.
Jai Shri Krishna to all of you. Excuse my appearance. I just came from work not too long ago and tried to log in as well. First and foremost, I'd like to extend our condolences and sympathy to the entire bereaved family. Greetings and best wishes coming from all the members and devotees of New York Hindu Milan Mandir, wishing you God's choicest blessings. I haven't known Baji too well. I met him at Satsang a few times, but I know Madanji, I know Yogeshji, so if I know them both, then it's easier to know the rest of the family. I'll make a little contribution of a song that I'll try. Yogesh, don't laugh at me anyway. Bhagwan, Bhagwan, Bhagwan. ओ दुनिया की रखवाले सुन धर भरे मेरे नाले सुन धर भरे मेरे नाले आश निराश की दो रंगों से दुनिया तूने सहाय नया संग तूफान बनाया मिलन की साथ जुदाई जा देख लिए हर जाने ओ लूट गई मेरी प्यार की नगरी अब तो नीरब नाले अब तो नीर बना ले ओ अब तो नीर बहा ले ओ दुनिया की रखवाले सुन धर भरे मेरे नाले सुन धर भरे मेरे नाले अंगवानी श्रावण की भर का फूल बने अंगारे नागन बन गए रात सुहानी पत्थर बन गए तारे सब टूट चुके हैं सहारे ओ जीवन अपना वापस ले ले जीवन देने वाले वो दुनिया की रखवाले चांद को ढूंढे पागल सूरज शाम को ढूंढे सवेरा मैं भी ढूंढूं उस प्रीतम को हो न सका जो मेरा भगवान भला हो तेरा ओ किस्मत पूती आसन तूती प्राणमय पर गए चाले वो दुनिया की रखवाले। महल उदास और गलियों सुनी चुप चुप है दीवानी। दिल क्या उजरा दुनिया उजरे रुत गए हैं बहारे। हम जीवन कैसे गुजारे हो मंदिर गिरता फिर बन जाता। दिल को कौन संभाले वो दुनिया की रखवाले। सुन धर भरे मेरे नाले सुन धर भरे मेरे नाले। ओ दुनिया की रखवाले 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 रखवाले।
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Uncle Vic. It means a lot, as I've said, for you to be here with us this evening. Unknowingly to you, I'm sure, that was a song that my auntie used to perform par excellence. It's a song that's very dear to his family, and I'm happy at least someone sang it this evening for us in honor of my dear late Tasu John. Without much further ado, I'd like to ask my poor Roman to make her contribution this evening. Over to you, poor Roman. Yes, we can hear you.
Jai Sitaram to all listeners. Good night. My deepest condolence to all the members, the family, especially from my father's side, all my cousins, and from all my mother's side too. And on behalf of my mother and my brothers and myself and my children and husband and Alex, most of all, we are so saddened. This is one time I've been praying so much for him and he didn't make it. I think through God's grace, he's in a better place. And I want to say my condolence to his wife and his children and Ryan and his children too. When John came first, I saw him at my cousin house, Dooley, and I was so excited to see each other. And he promised me so much that my daughter is going to get married sooner or later because of this virus. The wedding is taking later date. And he promised, don't worry, I'll come and I'll cook and I'll do everything and I'll sing. And now he's gone. I'm so sad, so much sad. And I'm so sorry for my sister Tara and Baiti, Julie, and all the siblings. I have lost two brothers so close. And we have lost a brother I lost. And I don't know, my son Alex is so upset and so sad for his uncle. He called him Chacha John. Sorry that he go so soon. We didn't get to get together. We leave everything for the summer. Okay. Thank you. Give me this opportunity to say a few words. I tried to make up my mind. I was so sad. Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Roma Bua. Thank you so much. I can only try to understand the pain that you're all experiencing, especially my brother Alex. I know how much Pastor John meant to him. I know how close they were. And all I can say is that we're all experiencing the same amount of pain at this time. Um, Without wasting much time, I would like to invite Uncle Danny Tyndall to the microphone. As I've said, let's try to keep it brief. We're trying to wrap this up as soon as possible. Over to you, Uncle Danny Tyndall.
Hey, could you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clear. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danny Tyndall. I am the last of the Tyndall boys from 73 Village. Brian asked me to share his sympathy. I just want to say it as quickly as possible before I forget. He said I should share his sympathy with the family. This is very tough for me. I would like to thank Dooley for keeping me abreast of John's status in the hospital. I'm really grateful for that. John has been like a model in our village in reference to, people talk a lot about his athleticism, but I have always been impressed with his character. I have always looked up to John. Historically speaking, Jagdeo men have a lot to say, but John was somewhat reserved. He was a little bit different. My late father had always been a good judge of character. And he, sometimes when I get into trouble, I'll take John to the house and he would listen to John. John had always been able to avoid any escalation in reference to behavior and so on. So it's really sad. This is so hard for me dealing with John's loss. John came to my mom's funeral. He was in America, I think roughly for a month, but he came to my mom's funeral last year. I saw him, I offered him something to drink. He told me he was not drinking. I told John, I'm so busy now, but I'll make the time to come and see you in New York. But unfortunately, look what happened. So I don't know, I just feel so bad for the family. I just wish somehow you'll be able to capture the strength to just keep fighting, because that's what John would want. John always strived on excellence, and he would want you to at least survive. He's always a happy person. He has always been like that, a very happy kind of person. So let's try to be happy. If he were to look up at us, look down at us, he would say, guys, just be happy, enjoy this life. So I wish everyone the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Danny. I really appreciate, I'm sure the entire Jagdeo family appreciates the involvement that the Tyndall family has in this and being here for us and sharing these wonderful memories about my dear late Chacha John. When my Chacha John was in the hospital battling these various different ailments that he had, we never gave up hope on him. I remember calling my dad every single day to find out how he was doing. I remember asking, is there good news? Is there good news? Is there good news? I remember when he would give us one good news, we would get 10 bad news along with it. But still, Chacha John was there fighting. I've told many people this, including my brother Ryan, and he agreed with me that had it been anyone else, they probably would have succumbed to these ailments a lot faster. But my Chacha was so strong, he battled out for almost 8 weeks in the hospital. I remember the day before he passed, on my way back home from work, I called my dad and I said, how is Chacha John doing? And he said, yo, it's not looking too good. His heart is down to 5%. And I remember thinking in the back of my mind that at least his heart is still beating. And once his heart is still beating, there still is hope, because I know the kind of strength that he had. And so I'd like to ask my brothers Kenny and Ryan and my dear Chachi Kumari to summon the same strength that Chachi John had to help you through this most difficult time. So without much further ado, I would like to ask my dear brother Ryan to say a few words about his dad on behalf of the entire family. Over to you, Ryan. Go ahead, brother.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
Good night, everyone. Sitaram. First of all, I would like to, on behalf of myself, my mother, brother, and my family, I would like to thank everyone who have supported or contributed
I believe my brother Ryan is experiencing some technical difficulties with his bandwidth or the internet service. We'll try to go back to him in a bit. Ryan, if you can hear us, please stand by. We'll come back to you after this rendition. I would like to sing a song, a bhajan, again by Anup Jalota. Now, if you had the opportunity to know my dear late Chacha, you will know that this bhajan was his most favorite bhajan. I say this because he was the only person that I knew of, other than Anup Jalota, that would sing this bhajan all the time. I've never sang this bhajan before, and I think it's out of respect of my dear Chacha that I've never really attempted to sing this bhajan. I don't think I can do it justice the way he did, but I'll try to sing a couple of verses from this bhajan. After this bhajan, we will go back to my cousin Ryan to see if we can get him to speak to us. सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले कर ले कर ले कर ले सुमिरन कर ले कर ले सुमिरन 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 कर ले मेरे मना तेरी बेटी उमर हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले सुमिरन कर ले मेरे मना तेरी बेटी उमर हरि नाम बिना सुमिरन कर ले पंछी पंख बिना हस्तिदंत बिना नारी पुरुष बिना पंछी पंख बिना हस्तिदंत बिना नारी पुरुष बिना जैसे पुत्र पिता भी नहीं ना, जैसे पुत्र पिता भी नहीं ना, कैसे पुरुष हरि नाम बिना, सुमिरन करने मेरे बना तेरी बीती उम्र हरि नाम बिना, सुमिरन करने। उपनीर बिना भेड़ु चीर बिना, भरती मेघ बिना, उपनीर बिना भेड़ु चीर बिना, भरती मेघ बिना, जैसे परवर जैसे परवर फल भी नहीं ना, कैसे पुरुष हरि नाम बिना, सुमिरन करने मेरे बना तेरी बीती उम्र हरि नाम बिना, सुमिरन करने सुमिरन करने सुमिरन करने। Couple of things about this bhajan. You know, this second verse that I just sang, Jaise Tarur. When my chacha would sing the song, he would say, Jaise Tarur. And once you hear that, whether you recognize his voice or not, you knew he was singing this bhajan. Also, there's a very jovial story that's linked to this bhajan. Once there was a very accomplished professional musician that came to number 73 Monday, and he was playing harmonium for Chacha John with this song. So naturally, he started doing all his runs and nods and all these things. But Chacha John was a very straightforward musician. He didn't like much of the fancy things. And he said to me, well, he said to him actually, listen, comrade, if you can't play this bhajan the way I want you to play it, then you should give Satchananda harmony. And that is Satnandara. And once you hear Chacha John says, comrade, you already know that you should be on guard because he was getting very serious. I would like to pass back to my brother Ryan to see if we have better connection. Is he there? Yes. There we go.
Hello?
Ryan?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
What are you, bro? Sorry about this. My internet is kind of internet Wi-Fi.
Okay, it seems like we've lost my brother again. We'll try again once more after I do this next bhajan. This is a bhajan that's very appropriate for what we're observing here this evening. I remember as a little boy, I used to go with my dad, Chacha John, Satnandara, Uncle Krong, to all these wake houses and pujas to sing. And those days I used to learn to play some dholak, and I used to tag along with them. I believe when I came across this song after hearing my chacha sing it, I used to go to play Hantao with them. I remember going to this wake house and I heard this very beautiful bhajan. And I asked Chacha John, of course, he was singing it, he executed it perfectly. And I asked him, I said, who sang that bhajan? And he said, Anuj Jalota sang this bhajan. Do you want to learn it? And I said, yes, can you teach me it? He said, okay. Listen, yo, come tomorrow by me, and I will teach you this bhajan. This bhajan is originally sung by Anuj Jalota, but Chacha Jan sings it in his own way. And tonight I present to you. If I can do it half as good as he does it, I will be happy. सारा जीवन लिखता रहा तू खुद ही कागज खोरा रहा तू खुद ही बोले खुद ही ना सुनता सब देकर तू देख न पाया आना जाना सब ही तो जाने कब जाना है कोई न जाने अर्थ ने छोड़ा अर्थ ने तोड़ा अर्थ ने छोड़ा अर्थ ने तोड़ा नाता सबसे तेरा आना जाना सब ही तो जाने कब जाना है कोई न जाने आना जाना आना जाना वक्त के वक्त रुके ना वक्त रुके क्यों वक्त रुके ना वक्त रुके क्यों चाहो न चाहो चलना पड़ेगा जाने न जाने मंजिल तक पहुँचे उस पार जाके लौट न आना आना जाना सब ही तो जाने कब जाना है कोई न जाने अर्थ ने जोड़ा अर्थ ने तोड़ा अर्थ ने जोड़ा अर्थ ने तोड़ा नाता सबसे तेरा आना जाना सब ही तो जाने कब जाना है कोई न जाने आना जाना आना जाना आना जाना we come and go सब ही तो जाने this we all know once we come we have to go but कब जाना है कोई न जाने but when we will all go no one knows. Thank you for all the beautiful memories that you shared with us all, Chacha Jan. Thank you for all the beautiful songs that you have taught me. You will always be missed by the entire Jagdeo family. I'd like to see if I can get my brother Ryan to say a few words once more. Zaf? Just before I go into the closing prayers this evening, I'd like to let you know that the funeral service will be held. Ryan just texted me to say that the internet has knocked him off once again, and so he won't be able um, to speak to us this evening. I will try to get him to record what he wants to say and send it to us, and maybe we can share it with you guys another night. The funeral service of my dear late Chacha, I know we have with us Minister Jagdeo, and after I make this announcement, instead of me giving the closing prayers, I'm not sure if he's still with us. Okay, I think he's left as well, but anyhow, he'll be the officiating priest for the funeral service tomorrow. I'd like to let you know that the funeral service will be held tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Leahy McDonald Funeral Home, which is at the corner of 111th Street and Atlantic Avenue, which is 11102. Atlantic Avenue, Jamaica, New York, 11419 in Richmond over here. After which, his body will be taken to the All Souls Chapel Crematory at 72-02 Astoria Boulevard South, East Elmhurst, New York, 11370 for cremation. As been said earlier, the last rites will be performed in the parking lot of the funeral home. If you'd like to join us tomorrow, we welcome that, but we're asking that we adhere to the guidelines and restrictions of this COVID-19 pandemic that we're all in. We'd like to ask of you to make sure you have your masks on and you're maintaining a 6 feet distance. And we'd like to thank you for coming out night after night and sharing this sorrowful time with us. Please join with me as we close with a very simple prayer for everyone. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu cha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. O Lord, you alone are our mother, you alone are our father, you alone are our brother, you alone are our friend, you alone are our wealth, you alone are Lord. O Lord, indeed, you alone are everything. Ayom Shanti, 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय. Thank you all once again. Have a good evening. Thank you. We will try to go live. I believe we can go live on Zoom as well tomorrow morning, and we'll try to maybe broadcast it on YouTube like we've done tonight, and maybe Facebook as well. If you can't join us physically, we understand, hoping that you can join us virtually at least. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.